And we're online. So,
It's like there I
we
was doing
are
things.
back with our All Monk adventure, the Day of 10,000 Fists. And we are rapidly heading towards our conclusion. Our party of heroes, our monkish heroes, have successfully made it through the Day of 10,000 Fists three times now. And they are now faced with a new challenge: the Heavenly Demon King, one of the most powerful martial warriors in the entire world, has decided that he will either bring this usurper of the Black Flame technique to his side or destroy him. You all were rescued by a mysterious unnamed master who seems to be the same person who put Snikt on the road to the mastery of many styles many decades ago now. You've learned that there seems to be some kind of higher reality that the heavenly demon is trying to access, somehow using the Day of 10,000 Fists. What that means is, over this last 10-year span, you have to plan carefully, hone your skills, gather your allies, and be prepared to confront one of the most powerful people in the world at the head of one of the most dangerous organizations. So, we're in a slightly different mode. This is a little bit less narrative focused and a little bit more logistical focused. We're trying to make sure that everyone has, the magic items they need. We're trying to make sure that everyone has all the stuff that they would want before essentially going into the big bad final boss fight. So, we left off. Everybody was doing a little bit of window shopping for legendary magic items. Ty had accepted a task from Imperial authorities to go after a figure known as the River King's Bastard, an incredible legendary river pirate, in exchange for a special magical tome of mastery. So, what is everyone else doing? What kind of preparations are underway?
Well, I being Show, would be uh, preparing the 10-year city to defend an incoming attack.
So I think we were calling it the 100-Year Fortress. Was that the plan?
Yeah, that it was something like that. But yeah, just making basically we were threatened with an outside force coming in to attack us, to destroy lots of things, and I want to try to give us a bit of an advantage, um, having a more defensible location.
So we mentioned last time you all had started to bring in some allies. You were able to bring in the Halpid clan, who are from the mountains near home. You were able to bring in some of the Iron Body clan to assist you. Not everyone, but some. They've also sent you assistance from the Iron Spider clan, a branch family focused more around traps and mechanisms. The Silence recruited some of the elders and students from the Razormind sect. So you've got sort of this group of advisors working with you on this project. One thing they're going to lay out really clearly very early is that you all have almost no ability to fully stop the Heavenly Demon from reaching this portal. There's going to be almost no chance you can pull that part off. But the forces that he brings with him are not inconsequential. If he is overwhelmed, uh, there is a much better chance that you all are able to stop him. What that means is you're building these defenses as much to thin out or hold back the full brunt of the Heavenly Demon clan. So, with that in mind, what sort of preparations are you making? How are you designing this place?
Well,
Um,
I'd recommend a
what?
clearly we just need a moat full of spikes. That way, when they run into the water, they don't see the spikes and they step on them.
Spikes covered in acid.
You know what? Ty was going to probably leave out his cult because he doesn't know if the Demon Lord will take over them, but he'll pull his connections with the Poison Way clan and bring them in as well to help out.
I'm sure you can find a few of your loyal followers who don't want the world to
In
completely
the
end.
world of Demon Cult, he who has the most power controls everyone.
You got me there.
Yeah, I was thinking I wouldn't be upset with a moat or spikes, but mostly I was thinking we could build some sort of wall sort of around the where the portal normally appears. Um maybe maybe do some digging or trenches so that they have to come up at us rather than on a level playing field.
Very
Um
smart.
then also if any of our allies are particularly uh mechanically motivated, maybe a few traps or something. I'm not sure.
All right, I have some ideas. So you're actually going to go for more star formation. That way, it actually stops sorties from digging in and undermining portions of the wall. Also, making it so that the attackers don't have just one flat wall to besiege, but several corners, which gives your archers on top of the wall many options to shoot a person in the back, where armor is probably least effective. You're going to want your moat. You're going to actually want a series of trenches, of outer trench that really just has spikes to annoy them, an inner moat which has hidden spikes in the water so that they can't so that when they do go in it hurts them. But you want to make sure that nothing's flat so they can't bring a siege towers or ladders up to your wall. And having a moat next to the wall makes your wall twice as tall without actually putting in as much effort as building a wall that high. You're then going to want towers on top and catapults in the back with the range found so that so that the people who operate the artillery know how much weight and what projectiles to use to hit targets at certain distances would be most effective. So you're going to have to do some test firing. You're going to want to make weak access. You're going to make access points like your entrances. You want them doubled. That way, the defenders don't have to have as many. You can throw rocks. You can boil some water and pour water. Or if Ty has it, they can dump poison on the defenders while they still have to break through two gates. And there you're going to want to have it drop down lower so they do get a ram in the first one. It's going to get stuck going into the second one. Would be some suggestions.
Also, don't forget you might want to put a double wall. So, and so have the outer wall as your main defense, and then since he's probably going to get through, also have another wall on the inside pointed inwards towards the portal.
And then you should actually have a contingency plan to actually have your troops not engage the Demon Lord at all. And if possible, if he comes to a gate, open the gates for him because you're never going to stop him. But if the gates are still intact, if they're open and he goes through them, you can close them behind him, thus limiting the amount of his minions that can come in. Would be a contingency plan you train into people. That way, You leave your best fighters in the very back, so when he tries to open the portal and gets weakened, then they can jump him and try and win without crippling your defenses.
All right, so sounds like a bit of a strategy, some layout. What are you don't have an unlimited budget, but you are in a sort of magical, high fantasy martial arts setting. So, what is on your all's wish list of like non-traditional forms of defense?
Well, I want the ballistas, the rapid fired ones.
Clearly, you're gonna have you're gonna need like barbed wire net launchers for when the enemies try to fly over. You shoot them with a net and they fall to the ground.
So I think the way I'll balance this is there will probably be a little bit of a mini war game to see how well you all do at this. And basically, each of you will be able to direct some of the defenses each turn. And anything you all are not directing sort of doesn't go off. But it means that you can have a lot of options.
If we're talking non-conventional things, is there any chance we could create some sort of secret tunnel or teleportation ring that would let innocents escape if we get overwhelmed?
No,
It's the
make them have
Alamo.
to. They got to fight
This
to
is
the
our
death.
final stand.
Have to sing the song if they're going through, though.
Because if they escape, it means to fail and the world dies. So I mean, we allow the chance for them.
No, running away.
I'll say this too: you're likely to have a lot of notice. I won't make y'all roll for this. Your guess, and actually, the master might have told you this. The heavenly demon wasn't just there to pick on Ty. That was a sub goal. You get the impression that sort of tearing down the 10-year city and being there at the gate was also a part of sort of researching and sort of laying the groundwork for what's coming. But what it means is there's no point in taking it until then. So you're likely going to have plenty of notice to send non-combatants out. So what else?
Well,
Oh, I got one. Along the way, there's going to be food carts, but the food is poison. This is for Snicked.
To poison Snicked? Because that feels like what's going to happen.
No,
Don't
we'll
forget
warn.
that it's poisoned.
Snick will be warned. Okay, there'll be
Snick is
refreshment.
immune. Oh,
Yeah, we'll find poisons that kobolds are immune to.
okay.
are kobolds allergic to chocolate?
Hmm.
Do you
Probably
think I'm a dog?
So in his defense, so kobolds are not the same from culture to culture. And like coming out of Germanic folklore, they're like little like men, like mining spirits, brewing spirits, cobbler spirits. In D&D setting, they're draconic, but kobolds in a lot of Japanese media are little dog-headed creatures.
Harrison, have you been on that anime?
I don't know
Anyway,
what you're talking about.
I chose not to.
anyway, bringing her back. Any other magical shenanigans?
Yes. So when we came out of the Day of 10,000 Fists last time, he knocked two of us out with a magical aura.
Mm-hmm. The
I would
annihilating aura.
I would very much like to find the strongest regeneration that I am capable of applying to myself.
All right. Um, something else
Thought
that
we
you
were
have
just
in your
looking for stuff for our fort. I wasn't aware we were talking about items already.
Oh,
I mean,
sorry, I
you
was
can be
Oh, I
thinking
thinking
got
about both.
both.
You know what? I got something for it. We hire healers, and they just hide in the walls. And when we get hurt, they just shoot out the heal spell at us.
I mean, it's not a bad idea to have some healers on hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we hide them in the
that makes good
walls.
sense.
That way, when he does hit us, they can kind of heal us back a little bit.
So, depending on how much you're willing to commit to it, um, you also have a pretty good idea of what sorts of damage that he does.
A lot.
Well, yes. But if
That
you had a.
annihilating aura was necrotic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're willing to part with an attunement slot, you could theoretically get a resistance item.
Or just become a necromancer.
Become a lich and you'll be fine.
I mean, you got
Sacrifice
10
your
years.
soul. Yeah, I could part with the slot.
Because a ring of resistance would be easy for you all to lay your hands on at this point.
Yeah, I could definitely part with a slot right now. So
I would probably like to have a, if you'll allow a monk to carry it, a staff of healing, so that I could potentially heal people as well, even if I run out of key to do it with. And also, uh, belt of giant strength would be nice. Any level of that.
Yeah, I think that you could get a. So, Staff of Healing, no problem to get. If you want a belt that is rare or lower, that's no problem because that is an attunement item, right?
They both are.
Yeah,
I only have one attuned item, so
that's wild. How have we not had.
well, I had two, but I decided I really only needed one.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought everybody had at least two.
Yeah, I don't really need the both bandits saber
Oh, yeah, you
and
have two
tiger sling
weapons.
stick. Yeah, I could really only use one. So uh then I think the drift globe also required it, but we decided that it didn't.
Yeah, that would be silly. Yeah, so Staff of Healing, no problem. Um, Now, if you wanted to. I'm having to really think about the difference. All right, so 27 strength is plus 8.
I mean, we could just do rare and put it at 21.
So I was going to say, so you can get a rare one, no problem. If you want to spend your sort of legendary whatever, you could get the Cloud Giant.
No, go with just the regular and the staff of healing.
All right. So I think this takes the form, and this isn't sort of all at once. This plays out sort of in the background of all this other stuff. At some point, Sub Abbot Own comes to you, having sort of heard what's going to be happening, even though it's kind of low key, but having heard what's going to be happening, comes and brings you his own staff, which he has imbued with this healing magic. But he's also wrapped this sort of special sort of grip, these sort of leather bands, and you realize when you put your hands on them, they aid you in converting sort of your energy into the kind of divine energy required for this sort of healing. The belt is a gift from Bartoon. It's actually Bartoon's own belt of giant strength. So, what else are y'all looking for? Revealing the background.
So, can I get like that basic ring of resistance since I'm going after that book?
Yeah, Ring of Resistance won't be a problem. Um, so I think what I'll actually say then is we'll combine this. Let's make the book part of your, if you're up for this. We'll add another effect with the book and make it together your legendary thing.
Sounds good to me.
Because some of them do tweak primary stats. I think. Although maybe it's technically an artifact. Items. Isn't there a dwarf belt? There we go.
And then I have my next question. If we decide to pop one of our grade 5 energy pills, like consume it for like the extra key slots, like is there like an item for that, or because I remember like with the grade 3s, you like slipped in some item into our inventory.
I think I already made one. Yeah, so it's extra key, energy pill grade 5, and you'll just delete
Gotcha.
the old one. And make sure you mark off the grade 5 energy pill you're using.
You gave us 2, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, all right, I've already done that.
So what do we do to
There's just an
use
item
that?
called extra key grade 5, and just make sure you delete your old one. So functionally, all of you gain 2 additional key points over and above where you were.
Okay, so I've got 2 in my inventory.
So spend 1, and then if you go to items and just
So
start
just
typing
delete it?
extra, yeah, add the grade 5, delete the grade 3.
I've got 2 grade 5s in my. It
So
says
you
extra key energy pill grade 5.
right. So there's a
Recharge.
separate thing that's extra key parentheses something something. If you're looking for the difference, one's a wondrous item and one is a potion.
Does it matter if you add it to equipment or backpack?
No, just as long as you know where it is,
Okay.
because
Well,
you do have to mark it off.
I have 2 wondrous items in my inventory.
Okay, you should only have one of those.
Okay.
Oh, I had those 2. I just deleted them.
All right. So, little montage here of you all as you're sort of doing this intensive training. You take these pills. They you hardly even swallow them. They almost just sort of dissolve into sweetness and light in your mouth. But it takes almost a whole day of sort of circulating and integrating that energy before you feel the effect. All right, what else are folks doing?
Just to be clear, um, with the energy pill grade 3 and the grade 5, I should have a total of 4 extra key
No.
points.
Grade 5 will replace grade 3.
So I would just have 3 extra key points.
Right.
And love on this so far.
Man.
Then I should have 1 grade 5 potion.
Yes, left.
Okay, I don't have that. So I
Okay,
must
just
have,
add that.
yeah. And do I still have the grade 3 and grade 1 potions?
Yes.
Okay.
Man, there are very few items that give you regeneration each turn.
Yeah, they covet that ability. You basically have to get the hand and eye of Vecna.
Yeah, even there's a legendary Ioun Stone of Regeneration, but it's
It's
15
like once an
points.
hour.
Yeah, once an hour.
And I just infuse my blood with some troll blood.
Is there a way to sort your backpack?
So if you look, you do have different tabs, basically.
Just wish everything was in alphabetical order.
That seems like it should be doable, but I don't know if there is a way. It even looks like it should be doable because it
Well,
has the things at the
yeah,
top.
yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I don't think it's possible. Roll20 didn't do it either. I had to go,
Yeah, but at least in Roll20 you can move it yourself.
yeah.
Like it wasn't an easy way, but it was possible. I can't even figure out how to move them
Oh, wait, what
individually.
order were you wanting?
Just alphabetical would be fine.
They're alphabetical, but they're rarity first.
Yeah, I don't like that. I would rather have it the other way. Because when I'm looking for something, I don't think about the rarity first.
Right.
I just think, oh, my bandit sword, where's that?
What you could also do
Yeah.
is add some more tabs, like you could break down equipment like weapons. Uh,
Hmm.
oh yeah, you have more techniques too that are not under your thing. Um, but yeah, you could have like weapons, potions, random junk. ball bearings. Can you imagine the horror of opening up someone's character sheet and there's a bag, and inside the bag are 1,000 individual ball bearings? We should have done that for Tasselhoff.
$1,000 individual ball bearings, and then 2 magnets.
All right.
So I found it on the 5e SRD, but not on D&D Beyond, the Potion of Regeneration.
Let's see. Let's look at our list of potions. It's weird that the potion of heroism gives bless. I never noticed that before. Yeah, I don't see any kind of ongoing healing potion. Excuse me. I would have thought the potion of heroism would kind of do it, except that it's not really heroism. That's so strange. Here's what I would say. I think you could get an actual potion of heroism, which would be 6 temporary hit points every turn. Although you still might get more mileage out of a potion of resistance.
In that case, I think I'd probably just prefer to go with a Ring of Resistance.
Yeah. Well, there it is. I was trying to figure out where messages were going.
Oh, yeah, I think you put it in the general chat, yeah. Yeah, it's confusing because there's also a chat window option for when you're in video, but it's separate from the other one.
Oh, interesting. The potion of regeneration is from a third-party source.
Oh,
It's third parties.
Which is interesting, because I wonder why they've pulled some things and not others. All right. What else do y'all want to do? So you have designing the base, getting any items together, also wrapping up any dangling plot threads.
I gotta kill a bandit.
Yeah. What sort of item are you wanting? If it's not going to be just like a straight up book.
Really, you'd be making a belt. That'd be fun. Like a WWE belt, or like like Texas with a giant belt buckle. If I lose my dagger, I'll just whip the belt out and try.
Use the belt as a bludgeoning instrument.
So then I think it makes
does.
sense then that the belt is the belt of the River King. And so the story related to you is that the belt has been stolen from the shrine of the River King, who is a draconic demigod, who is sort of lord of all of the freshwater waterways in the realm. In an act of rebellion, the River King's bastard has raided the River King's imperial shrine and stolen the belt. So they're more concerned that they want the belt returned, and they want you to try to dissuade, whatever that means, this pirate from preying on imperial ships. So how do you want to go about that?
Remember last time I said I wasn't going to talk to my people? I've lied.
Lasted a long time.
Well, it lasted until it inconvenienced me. I'm going to have a talk with my people. I'm going to round up a big party of them. And we're going to go visit the River King bastard. But before we do that, I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go talk to my friends over the Way of the Poison Clan. I'm going to go talk to them. For two reasons. One, I'm going to request a little bit of poison. And two, I'm going to request that they come help defend the world from the Demon Lord. Either they could send people, or they could just give us some high-end poison to help limit some of the Demon Lord's people.
They absolutely give you a sort of disdainful look at the idea that you could possibly correctly employ their poisons on a wide scale in battle. And they agree to send a detachment to go and help when the time comes.
And Ty agrees to increase trade with them to boost their, maybe send potential recruits that would have gone to Ty to them, because maybe in preparation for this upcoming battle, Ty will have his people. They're gonna do the "We need you" posters in every village. Come join the cause. Maybe we'll send some their way so they can have more people. And yeah, once Ty has tried and even the deal, so it's not all the burdens on them. They feel like they haven't just given away everything for no cost. I'm going to march my people. I'm going to then march, and we're going to march on the River King's bastard, and we're very going to persuade him.
All right. So just to set a general vibe, give me an intimidation check with advantage. You'll have to tell me what you get, because I don't have it where I can get to it.
15.
15. Yeah, you strike a pretty imposing perception here as your assembled Demon Way forces march towards this sort of sacred waterway that the River King has called home. So, how are you going to try and what's your approach in trying to intimidate or sort of dissuade him away?
Well, first of all, I'm just going to clarify to my people that poison is meant for weapons and never to go into the water, because I'm not going to poison the water. We are going to make this very clear right now about what happens with this poison. And then two, is like he's like on an island or just like in a cove or something. Like if I could walk a bridge and come up to him, or he's like in the middle of the water.
So you're able to discover that the River King's bastard has found sort of a mountain. It's sort of like a mountain lake. It branches off and has built sort of a floating village up there. The only reason that they can actively come and go against the flow of the river is because of his sort of supernatural gifts. So it takes you all a lot of work to sort of get up there. But you all manage to arrive, and this village is sort of laid out, and it's fairly substantial. There's probably hundreds of people living here. As soon as even before your forces have approached, the River King's bastard is just waiting on a raft, essentially standing out in this lake, arms crossed, looking out at you. He's got a javelin tucked over his shoulder in like a holster, and has a beautiful, sort of surprisingly elegant looking scimitar. And he says, "Friend, I think you've made a wrong turn somewhere. You and your scary demon army here."
So I'm actually going to use fly, but stay so close it looks like I'm walking on the water, and I'm going to walk out halfway out to him.
So we'll say this is a little ways down the road. You've been training with the master for a couple of years learning this. So you're able to control this fairly well and use it to sort of fake walking on water. And he sort of smirks. He knows immediately what you're doing. And he says, "So, what brings you around these parts?"
Well, you robbed from the River King. You desecrated his shrine, and I've been kind of sent here to persuade you from stop doing that.
Blah, blah, blah. My dad can go to hell.
Daddy issues. Everyone has them. I got them too, Okay. We're all in that same boat. Mine tried to kill me. I bet yours has too.
Parenthetical.
But,
Does Ty remember that the heavenly demon is not actually his father?
I knows that, but he's still gonna roll with that.
Okay, I just wasn't sure what check was happening here. Because you've done that a couple of times, and it's like, is this a weird bluff? Like,
no, this is just Ty being Ty now.
All right.
At this point, I'm Ty's owning it. He's just gonna own it.
So I like my shiny belt, and I like robbing rich, corrupt tax collectors.
Don't we all? Don't we all? I like your belt too. Not gonna lie. So, is he away from his floating city?
Yeah, he's a good ways out.
I goes, well, I'm getting bored of this, and I kind of want you to do something. Is his floating city made of wood, since wood floats, or?
Yeah, a lot of it is wood.
I look at them. How good are your people at swimming?
he laughs as you ask the River Bandit King how well his people swim.
So, upon that, Ty just, starts using his fly and walks towards the city, lighting a torch.
As you head forward, he is going to stomp a foot, and a wave of water comes cresting up and over. And let's see, how should we adjudicate this? Yeah, give me a strength saving throw.
My dice are really not. Oh, you look amazing dice. I got a 19.
All right. You are blasted with water. You are not knocked prone. Your torch is put out though.
That's kind of the annoying part. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I is there like a way for my minions to get to this floating city, or do I have to? Oh, yes, it's in the middle. Never mind.
Yeah, they're gonna have to move past him, and behind him a ways are the actual like ships of the river bandits with river bandits on them.
Yeah, I want to light those on fire.
Are you gonna try and go after them?
No, I'm trying to think of what I want to do. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Oh wait, it's this one, right? I equipped in my cloak of floodwater cloak, and then I do have it attuned. I'm just going to cast a wave. It's at the ships. It's I'm gonna cast a 10 foot. It's only 10 feet tall. Yeah, I'll fight River Bandit King with a wave as well. I'll send it at a ship. See if I can capsize a couple.
Let's get some dice going and see what happens. And close the 17 kinds of potions that were up. Let's see if he has gotten his... So he has gotten his crashing wave back, and he is going to unleash another wave in the same direction, like opposing.
Gotcha. And he's being a buzzkill.
As you go to attack his people and his boats and his village.
Should have done it sooner. And this is really draining my options here of trying to be a jerk. But look at him, man. That was a smart move you did there.
I mean, you're the one who brought fire and water after the river bandits.
Well, I bring a lot of stuff that's wrong. And poison. I brought poison too.
Are you going to do something with the poison?
Well, I don't want to poison the water, and kind of just wanted to poison him or his fighters if I can get my people into combat. But they're sitting on a river in the middle of a lake. I don't know if I can get my goons there without just losing them all.
This is definitely home turf.
Yeah, I'm actually about to. Well, he has a stupid crashing wave, which is took away one of my other funny ideas I have, which I got from Alexander.
Light it all
You
on
know
fire.
what? No, Alexander the Great. There was a city on island, but it was kind of close to the mainland. And so he goes, you know what? I'm gonna connect you to the mainland. So they built a really strong bridge all the way to the city and connected them to the mainland.
Mhm.
I kind of want to do that with my minions. So you know what? Maybe. What level is the River King's bastard?
Do you have
Yeah,
your discernment active?
I don't have discernment. I forgot. I have other stuff that I kind of like more.
The only thing you know for sure is that he is powerful enough that they threw this to you instead of just sending the Imperial Army.
Okay. Okay. You know what? Maybe I do have an idea now. Kai's gonna go in. He's gonna go fight, and he's gonna go. He's gonna go all out in the first action. He's gonna take some poison, put it on his dagger, and he's gonna fight the River King's bastard on his little raft. And while Ty's doing that, he's gonna instruct his men to connect the floating city to the mainland.
So
We're going big.
it's only partially. I guess is your goal to attack overland? Is that the aim of this?
Well, the goal is to be able to get my people to attack his bandits without them having to run through water or at least burn down his city to really
Okay.
persuade him not to do stupid stuff.
So it's only partially floating. It backs up. So the river comes down, it goes off into this lake which is surrounded by mountains, but there is a flat space that it's goes up onto. There is sort of a path that you could get up to sort of the back of the village. It's well fortified, but you could potentially send troops up that way.
Oh well, then that makes my life easier. They're going to besiege it, and I'm going to make sure that the River King's bastard can't do much. Otherwise, he has to worry about me. We're playing chess.
So let's
I
just
got darts. I will shoot darts at him.
let's just call this. We'll run this on 2 levels. So the first is sort of the tactical side. Give me an intimidation check. This is just sort of you generally running your troops.
I think dice are just rolling really slow. Ain't the worst. I got a 14.
He only got a 12. So it's a very close back and forth. You've brought a lot of troops. And they're particularly vicious troops compared to what the River King's people are used to seeing. So they're able to start breaking their way through some of the barricades and into the back of the village. So what are you doing?
So I'm jelly. I've risen up in the air. I've given up the whole walking on water, And I am kind of pelting him with darts, and I am daring him to try and do something.
I mean, as soon as you start to go up into the air, he definitely. This is perfect. He has an attack called Reeling Javelin. He whips that javelin off of his back and drags it across the butt of it across the water for a second, and like a tendril of water attaches to the end. And as you start throwing darts, he's going to throw this spear up at you, this javelin, and is going to try and hook you and harpoon you down. So I guess we'll do opposed. We'll just call these opposed attack rolls.
Gotcha. Well, I'm using darts.
Oof, he's rolling hot garbage.
It wasn't the worst. I got a 23 on the dart attack roll.
So he only got a 12. So, I think both of you get some hits in, but your hits are more substantial. The poison starts to wear on him, even as like the javelin hits. And what do you do with the javelin once it sort of is sticking into you?
Oh, what would I do with it? Clearly, he doesn't know. I'm actually going to deflect it, throw it back at him, and pick him up. Or like rip it out, throw it at him, and try to pick him up with it. Because clearly, why would I do that? I've already thought of better stuff after what I just said. Why give him his javelin back? I'm going to take the javelin and I'm going to yeet that thing into the woods. Dare him to use it again when he doesn't have it.
So when you pull the javelin out, that tendril of water is still sort of hooked to it. But as you sort of pull it, it snakes down and grabs your leg and starts pulling you down closer. But to speed us along, there is a sort of back and forth exchange of black flame attacks, of darts, of he wields this saber, and there's actually like an edge of rapidly moving water along the edge of it, so it cuts deeply every time it cuts. But he's taking 2 hits for your every one. He is definitely wearing down faster. And you see him, he is starting to bleed a lot. And he is going to sort of fall to his knees. Still sort of, he's like standing on the water, but he falls to his knees and he's just bleeding from all these different places. What are you going to do?
If he's fallen to his knees, I could use another good ally. So first I take my belt, because that's what I came here for. Second, I'm actually going to holler for my men to stop, eventually. And then I offer him the deal. I go, you stop disrespecting the River King's shrines and idols. Live peacefully. And, become the ally of the Inquisition. That's kind of, Ty had to
rebrand.
Rebrand, so, why annihilate someone? We can use them. It's either that, or I'm burning your whole city down, and I might just kill you here.
He's laughing, and it's a sort of distressingly wet laugh. It sounds like there's fluid in there somewhere, And he keeps laughing, and it keeps sounding wetter and louder. And then he dissolves into water in your hands, leaving you holding the belt in one hand. And you hear a tremendous roar. Something bursts up, partway up one of the mountains. And suddenly there is water flooding down the mountain. And it resolves itself into the shape of this sinuous, long, blue-green dragon that has exactly the same sort of defiant smirk as the figure that you were just holding. And he winks at you, and sort of cresting on the edge of all this water, splashes into the lake. And all of it, the boats, the village, all of your people, all of your boats, everything is suddenly like blasted out of this area and down the river, a good like half a mile of like instant flood. You're surrounded by wreckage of like the village is in pieces. There's just chunks of wood everywhere. But as your men sort of look around, there are no river pirates. You are alone, but you have your belt.
I hold it up as victory to my men. Like, you know what? Victory. I don't care how. I don't care why. It's victory. And you know what? We marched back home singing some jolly tunes of our victory.
So we'll decide exactly what properties your belt has before next time. At least one of them will be to increase your dexterity by 2.
I'm happy with that.
And who
That's the
knows?
question.
Go ahead.
Does Ty tell the story to us whenever he gets back?
Or does he
Of
sing it?
course, I know the story. Except it was no longer the River King's bastard. It was actually the River King's dragon that I've now slayed, and his cultist.
Depending on how honest Ty is with how the story goes, I think at one point Snicks just gives him a look and casually walks over to the river and casually walks across the river.
Just for fun, Snakes give me an insight check, and Ty give me a deception check.
A dirty 20.
Nice.
Yeah, advantage on these rolls, baby.
You only have advantage when you're using your authority of one of your emblems.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't roll with advantage, but I got a nat 20.
Oof. Nat 20 versus dirty 20. I think that, like, Snicked, you're not 100% sure, but you definitely catch the vibe that something there isn't right. You don't know exactly which part of the story it is, but, like, something smells fishy.
I'm a kobold. I know exactly what's wrong with the story. No dragon would ever be a pet.
Just for fun, whoever wants to, give me a religion check.
With my -1, I rolled a 2.
Womp womp.
I got an 11.
Oof. Not a lot of
That's fine. That helps my
I
story.
got a nat 20.
noise.
That does not help my story.
So I think Sho might know this because the Iron Body clan has maybe had to like provide escorts to protect against the Dragon King's bastard. And you at least know, like, that's not a metaphor. Supposedly. Supposedly the River King's bastard is literally the bastard son of the River King, the sort of guardian draconic deity of the river. So to hear that he was essentially a dragon is not surprising. All right. So you have retrieved the River King's belt. What else? What else is interesting to you all? Allies to recruit, features to build into your fortress.
I guess Ty goes to the capital to cash in on the bounty of River King. He persuaded him not to mess with stuff anymore. To claim my reward and to maybe hire some nice healers for our endeavor.
So we're going to call this a deception check with advantage. Because you definitely did not actually do that. You definitely hindered him. And you have his belt, so that's on your side. What's the result here?
$16.
The official that you were working with raises an eyebrow, but doesn't question it too much, since you do have the belt. He does request that eventually the belt go back in the shrine, but you can keep it for now as part of your reward. And we'll say when you do that, you'll permanently replace it with the Tome of Quickness. That bonus. So, yeah, with your resources, you're able to hire some additional healers. Your Demon Way definitely has some healers. So what else are folks interested? Oh, go ahead.
Do I want to bring my Demon Way there? Because, remember, the highest power person controls everything. Do I want to bring a bunch of people in there that could, be converted over to the Demon Lord and then become our own problem? We'll have enemies in the walls, and that's what we don't want.
So, just for fun, give me an intelligence check.
Nat 21.
So, based on what you have seen and heard, the Heavenly Demon doesn't seem to actually use that aspect of the technique very often. Generally, folks do what he says because it's dangerous not to. Now, the princes, on the other hand, there are 3 of them left, I believe, or 4.
There's 4. I'm
okay.
5th.
We're not going to worry. You skipped what, number 5?
No, I tried to skip 4 and kill 3, but then that failed.
That's right. So you took out 7, 6, and 5. 4 is a small fry who's not going to matter. You do anticipate at least probably 2 of the demon princes, if not all 3 of them, to be part of this, and they very likely would try to co-opt anyone they could.
Which is why if I have time left, I need to try and kill him.
So what else do y'all want to do?
Yeah, I mean, tending the enemy ranks sounds like a good idea.
So, give me a. I'll let you all choose. This is. We're going to call this insight if you are sort of doing the analysis yourself, or a charisma skill if you are getting someone else to do it for you. This is just to gather information about what the heavenly demon, is doing.
I would definitely be trying to get other people to do it.
I got a 14 on insight.
I got a 10 on insight.
Okay.
I rolled a 3.
What are we supposed to roll?
Insight.
But if we
It
were
was-
trying to get other people to do it?
Yeah, it was insight if you're going to do it yourself, a charisma skill if you're going to get someone else to do it.
Oh,
Oh, so just any charisma skill, like persuasion?
Any except perform.
how do you know?
I perform the information with the power of dance. All right. Of those checks, Lilifear, this is actually perfect. So Lilifear, you are able to activate some of your sort of information gathering resources. You get some of your former compatriots out there, not necessarily like going and directly spying, but picking up information from sort of nearby regions. And you find out two important pieces of information. One, this is a massive marshaling of Demon Way forces. In fact, this is the biggest that anyone can remember. Even the little rampage where some of the princes were hunting after Tai is nothing compared to this. The three sort of top Black Flame princes are in full administrative mode. The Heavenly Demon is somewhere. Supposedly he's making appearances occasionally, but is not running the day-to-day. But the three of them are sort of like close together with all of their forces. They are borderline untouchable right now. But this process of sort of gathering all of their forces is slow, and it's not truly comprehensive, because they can't just abandon all these outposts. So the number 4 prince is out there somewhere, a ripe and easy target, and there's a lot of like supply chains and information chains and bases that you could easily snap up right now.
Between all of Ty's escapades, do I have time to do that?
I think so, because this would be some of this would be you, and some of this could be like forces that you send to do it. Because what that also means is that if you send a Violet commander out, there's only one other Black Flame prince sort of loose in the field. So as long as you take him out, your forces couldn't be co-opted unless one of the big three make a move.
So what you're saying is we use the information. I find number 4 because I take out number 4. I'm going Black Prince hunting. Does anyone else want to join me?
I'm in.
I don't think I would join, but I would definitely offer some of my more advanced students the opportunity to go with them.
And I think that sort of helps underline how this goes. This is embarrassing for number 4. Like, number 4 would have been a challenge for you all 4 or 5 years ago. But, because number 4 is like an ambitious young adult. Maybe in his, like, mid to late 20s, something like that. He's not one of the well-established older princes who have been around. You know, some of them are 40, 50 years old. He's sort of a rising up-and-comer, and he's just been completely overshadowed. And any one of you could stomp him single-handedly. It's... Yeah. The students are perfectly capable of carving through a lot of the Black Flame number 4's forces, and you all just shred him.
Snick holds him down while Ty punches him in the face.
Multiple times.
Yeah, it almost looks like a... it looks less like a martial arts fight and more like somebody getting beaten up in, like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something. Like a comedy beating. That's what it looks like. So you take him off the board, and your various forces now basically have free reign to go after any of these remaining Demon Way forces that are outside of the Heavenly Mountain. They might come back and claim them again at some point, but you're able to rapidly expand. You're able to sort of take the choicer places for your own, and a lot of the others you can just burn to the ground.
You know how big this is going to make my trade operation? You know how rich I'm going to be? I'm everywhere now at this point. Like,
I mean, really, your problem is that you don't have enough people. Like, if you... Like, you know, if you had 10 times as many people, you could fully annex all of these locations. But you're really just sort of picking out the choice bits and throwing the rest away. Because you can only staff so many places.
Really, that's all I really want to do is find the places I don't need, loot them to the bare bones, take everything you possibly could, burn them to the ground.
Yeah.
That way you never have to take them again.
And a lot of these resources funnel back into building the 100-year fortress.
You guys are welcome, okay? Ty is like Batman. I am bankrolling everything for you.
I mean, kind of Batman. A little bit more like...
Joker?
Like what?
Joker, just absolutely insane.
Well, I was trying to remember. There was a famous privateer during the American Revolution, and I can't remember who it was.
Oh, was he the one who like went over to England and started just attacking England? It's straight up.
Yeah, they were just like rampaging through all these British ships, just taking stuff. That's kind of the vibe you're at.
It's cheaper.
Yeah.
Very cost saving.
So you are able to gather pretty much any resource you can imagine at this point, and the training with the master is super intense. We'll say that you all are 5 or 6 years into it now. The 100-year fortress is coming together. The 4th prince is off the table. The Inquisition has rapidly spread. And the master has been showing each of you ways to amplify the skills you already have. So each of you levels up to 17. And you sort of master these new level 17 abilities. Many of which are on just a whole new level from where you were at before. You notice that all of you realize you don't need to eat anymore. You don't need water. After a couple of years, you realize you don't seem to be aging. Which is a big deal for Snikt, who is one of the oldest kobolds at this point. You even realize you can understand any language that's spoken to you. All of these gifts are sort of unlocking as you practice these deeper techniques with this master. And you all get your subclass capstones. I know Sho can now Iron Body like spells. Lilifear can shoot people into the atmosphere. Snikt can have 2 styles at the same time. Ty, I think you get something like your time stop ability gets cheaper. It's only 1 level of exhaustion per use now, which means that it's a lot easier to use it potentially 2 or 3 times. And the silence, I want to say it adds extra damage to all of your stuns and... Let me double check. My Google Doc for this campaign is ridiculously large. It is actually hard to search things. Oh, yeah. The silence learns to turn into pure thought. Resistance to all non-magical physical damage, can't be grappled, can't be restrained, flying speed equal to walking speed, which means while he's in that mode, he'll be as fast as Lilifear. And then also can move through creatures or objects as if they were difficult terrain.
Oh, man.
And it lasts for 10 minutes.
Does the creature he's moving through, can they feel it? Does it feel weird?
I would assume so. In my mind, this would look kind of like the Archons from StarCraft.
Okay, yeah.
But purple.
I have another question. If he goes into that and then goes into burst, but then turns back into the silence, does he come out from the inside out and just blow him up?
They're fine. He takes damage.
Oh.
That's how all the phasing abilities are written. Almost none of them can you hurt someone by phasing through them.
Right.
Well, no, if he goes into them, but then turns back into this.
Yeah, if you are in a space you're not supposed to, it just bounces you out and you take damage.
Gotcha.
Whereas in some of the older editions, you just died. It's like, oh, your earth gliding ability cut off. You live here now. You're dead.
You're stuck inside this.
Everyone levels up. I think I'll probably give each of you a new capstone technique as well. Something that you can... I think for all of them what I'll do is you'll be able to burn key to amp up one of your abilities. So for Master of Many Styles, it'll be that crazy layered style attack that he used on the master. We'll see for some of the others. All right, this is you all are at the save point. There's the save point, and there's the weird merchant who is always in every dungeon somehow. You have the whole map unlocked. You have the airship. All the secret quests are open. What's left?
Bomb arrows.
You go to the
You can
bottom of
make
the
that
ocean.
happen.
I now ask, since the Inquisition is so large and prosperous, do I get a seat at the table at the high table in the Imperium in the capital, the Empire?
I think you're new enough and have risen fast enough that it's a very mixed reception. Some people want to get you on their side because there are less powerful forces that want you to back them. There are more powerful forces that want you to be essentially another part of their faction, like their sort of voting block. There are some folks. It's an open secret that you all are something to do with the Demon Way. There is something weird there that at least all of the rulers know about. Like average people probably have no idea, but like the kind of people who meet behind closed doors in the Capitol, those people know. So there are some folks who are still resistant on that basis, but again, there's others who are like, well, he truly seems to be going after the Demon Way, and we'd rather have him on our side than against us. So you're I'd love to do it as a whole scene, but we'll have to sort of fast forward. Just imagine sort of a montage of like a few sort of social occasions that I think most of you would get invited to, because the Silence and Show are both now the headmasters of these new and growing sects that have been a really big deal in the last 10 or 15 years. Obviously, Ty and all of his involvement, and then I think Lilifear and Snikt are not quite as well known, but you all are sort of moving in these circles, and at least a few people, they're like, there's got to be something there. So you all at sort of like a large party. It's in like a courtyard. There's like big like bonfires spread out around the space, sort of warming and lighting up these beautifully sort of decorated tables just loaded with food. And there's like, the heads of all 12 regions, including the new Saris family regent.
They're welcome.
The Halpid family sort of awkwardly comes over and makes conversation. The Malak family, the Rizov family, all these different rulers, some of the top generals, the Imperial Army, some of the top Imperial scholars, some of the masters of the big illustrious sects. And I think you all fit in the way in which you have become accustomed. Maybe we'll do that. We'll go around. How does each of you respond to this?
Ty is building alliances, making connections. He's he's outgoing. He's talking to everyone, jumping from person to person. So really, trying to get his name out there and trying to, really brighten the image of the Inquisition with his pearling teeth and his charming smile.
There's some real legitimate business energy.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I think even like a lot of folks come to you. Like for at least part of the night, you're just sort of set up at a table and like you have sort of a little miniature reception line happening. And it's this very delicate social dance where with some of the other leaders, you both get up and move to a different location together so that neither one of you is going to the other because there's a delicate power balance in that. So this is all going on. What is Snicked doing at this banquet?
Well, assuming that the rich and powerful brought their kids along, Snicked is making friends with the people who are his height. And the highlight of the evening is when I go up to the heir apparent and go pull my finger.
Yeah, he's delighted. It scares some of the black armored Imperial Guard. They're black and gold because they're actually the Royal Guard. They're like the top of the top, and they're sort of alarmed for a second, and the kid just cracks up. And you've got a little bit of a reputation. I think you all would probably have been asked at an event like this. You would have some kind of visible marker of like who you are. For a lot of the families, it's like a family crest, very similar to the emblems that you all carry. But these would be sort of tastefully integrated into the outfit somewhere. And so for most of you, well, at least for Snicked, all of you would have it somewhere. These sort of 3 marks that show that you are a 3-time Day of 10,000 Fists survivor / champion. And that alone is enough to get you a lot of leeway with everybody. How is Show handling this?
Sure. Even before the our new levels, Show never really ate much, so wouldn't really know how to act at a banquet. In fact, he probably has never really been to a banquet of any kind. Um, and he has a lot of other things on his mind. So while not being rude, he also probably wouldn't really be socializing much. He would be kind of be thinking like, what's happening here? Why are we doing all of this?
I think you'd probably have. What did you end up calling your sect?
I
Was
don't
it
know
like
if
the
we ever
Unnamed or something?
I don't know if we ever made a name for my sect. Did
Maybe I
we?
just wrote down Unnamed, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool."
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh,
Let's just call it
the
the
Nameless
unnamed.
School. That's what it was.
The nameless school. Perfect.
Um, I think that probably as you're at this banquet, one of your Nameless School elders is sort of blocking for you and is sort of navigating, which has the advantage of making you look like extra important. Um, because it means that you're important enough that you have an assistant, basically is how it looks, even though really it's just because you don't know what to do. You all are powerful enough that people don't expect you all to like necessarily be polite and orderly even in a gathering like this is the sort of privilege and freedom of being one of the like there's probably a formal ranking out there somewhere, and all of you are top 100 for sure. It's probably not as accurate as it should be because some of you have not been as publicly involved in battles and the sort of duels especially that really raise your ranking. Like Ty is probably sitting higher than some of you all, just because he's had very notorious battles. But I would say all of you are probably top 50 on this list. And if you were to make a preference, make a habit of challenging some folks, you'd probably climb to top 20, top 10 even. So yeah, you all have a lot of power. How does the silence handle something like this?
He handles it just pretty well. He just, casually just acts like he's eating and drinking.
I mean, you all can still eat and drink. It's just that you don't have to.
Yes, yeah.
He still partakes in that.
I think that probably one of the things in your favor is that now that it's consumed all of this other stuff, all this psionic energy, your psi crystal has become able to manifest itself. It takes the form of a crystal dragon wormling. It's very clearly still like a psionic construct. Like you can see the psi crystal inside of sort of a spectral silhouette. But the sound is very sociable and can now talk out loud. To the delight of others and the great distress of the silence. But again, because you're so powerful, even the sound gets referred to as like master sound and has like its own seat and its own setting, and is just gleefully chomping food, and it goes in and it's almost sort of like suspended in a liquid inside of it, and you watch it just sort of dissolve once it gets just a little bit past the throat. And it's eaten so much food. It doesn't get full. It's just literally eating for fun. And the servants have figured that out, but there's no polite way for them to tell such an esteemed guest to stop.
Stop eating so much.
How is Lilifear handling this?
I was gonna say Lilith is probably all more along the lines of like show. I mean, he's more used to living in the woods, out away from people, and like crowded cities were more where his job would take him, like for spying on people and stuff. So a bit of a weird, experience to be expected to be seen while in a situation like this. So yeah, he's probably a little reserved and just observing.
I think you also have a little.
Yeah, what's that?
I was gonna say I think you also have a little bit of a buffer because the head of the Falling Stars sect is there, and I would say like a couple of elders from that sect are there, just whoever they could kind of get their hands on for a social event. Also, there is the head of the sort of distant head of the information gathering group that you were theoretically a part of.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
But also, they didn't really know how bad it was for you all a lot of the time. But I think that as you've been to a couple of these events, they've made a point to sort of reach out.
Yes.
Sort of having heard that you're sort of were part of this group. So the banquet continues. Are there any sort of agendas you all want to pursue other than sort of the politicking while you all are at this?
I mean, the only other agenda Ty would pursue is he'd be looking around and be like, man, if we survive the Demon Lord onslaught, I need to build a castle this grand as well. That and
Getting
testing.
grading ideas for.
These Imperial Guard are great, but if I get the opportunity to kill all 7 Demon Princes, I'll have all the robes. I'm gonna make a Demon Prince bodyguard for myself, or they're gonna be called Inquisitors.
There you go.
So I'm gonna
Make
have
them
7
black and
Inquisitors, and they will be able to help run the day-to-day basics because I'm gonna divide my my empire, or my holds, into 7 parts. Me being on top, and my 7 Inquisitors spreading out and doing their jobs.
So this is sort of Ty like holding court at this social event with some of the folks who kind of want to get on his good side. Yeah, so you all make some connections. Construction on the 100 Years Fortress is underway. Anything else?
So while Ty has his grand plans of essentially setting himself up as a second emperor, Snicked over there hanging out with the kids is, I don't even know if politicking is the right word, but trying to put in a word with the heir apparent. Can I just have a little corner of swamp, just for myself, untaxed?
I think that this kid like can just give that to you now. Like the family has so much power and so much wealth that like even a child like this child's like allowance is their allowance for like a week is what your whole family would bring in like a year. And they're just like, yeah, sure.
Fantastic. Now I just need a talking donkey.
Now just imagining Snicked, but it's like blue and it's got little kobold ears instead. That's our follow-up series.
Right.
All right. So it's not the most exciting thing to cap off with, but so we know vaguely what Ty's legendary looks like. Snicked wants chaos. What does everyone else want? Lilifear, what would amp up your world?
Like a legendary item wise?
Yeah, and if you don't know of a specific item, if you just have an idea of like what would help Lilifear, what would Lilifear want?
So yeah, when I was looking through, I mean, there was a couple of them that seemed kind of interesting. Partly though, I have to decide which attunements I'd want to give up because I kind of want to have something that keeps boosting my armor class or whatever. And I do really like that health one.
Yeah, you could probably fold one of those effects into whatever else you get. So we'll do kind of like what we did for Ty. You could do like like +2 AC and something.
Okay.
Necrotic resistance. Remember that.
I mean that's true too. Like that's definitely going to be worth having.
I'm trying to remember now. There was like a, what was it, platinum scarf or something that was kind of cool sounding because it could do like healing. What was that? And the other one was something like an archmage robe. I mean, technically only I think it was wizards and sorcerers could attune to it, but some of it had some cool sounding properties. But I think those are the only two already existing legendary items, anyways, that look kind of interesting. Can't find him now.
So, which specific properties are you interested in?
Trying to, well, the scarf it had like you had the 3 scales, so 3 times a day you could heal yourself or somebody for, I think it was 10d4, something like that. Or let's see, the robe do. Change this. Right. Let's roll with Archer. Yeah, the robe did advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects, and your spell save DC and spell attack were increased by 2.
So the robe of the Archmagi.
Yeah.
We could probably come up with something like this. Although some of these properties you already get. So mostly you'd be
I
looking at
wasn't
the
sure.
advantage on saving throws and maybe the save DCs.
Yeah. Yeah, mostly I was looking at things, something to keep my armor class up and maybe have a little bit of spell defense or something.
Cool. What is the silence interested in?
Well, I don't know. So I've been looking around. All right, and I thought maybe getting the upgraded version of the crystal knife with the crystal dagger,
Uh huh.
but I already have the rare version, right? Yeah, I got the rare version.
So we could just have like a legendary version of that. We'll bump it
Yeah,
up to
I
plus
thought about
3 and maybe add another property to it.
that, or I thought about maybe getting the next upgrade of the ring protection.
Well, you do already have the Psychic Shroud, which is AC plus 2 and a bunch of other bonuses.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll look at something fancy with the crystal knife, something defensive for Lilifear. Show, what are you interested in?
Just here at the banquet, or in what way are you asking?
This is sort of like you're getting sort of your ultimate weapon before you go off. We'll come up with how you all get these and just sort of address them very briefly. But what sort of properties are you interested in?
I mean, the ones I got already are what I was sort of good with. The uh with my tiger sling stick, my staff of healing, and belt of hill giant strength. I think that's all I need. All I need or want.
All right. Well, what I might do then is pick one of those and just bump up the effect a little bit more.
That's fine. Or you could do it to the bandit saber instead of the tiger slaying stick if you wanted.
Yeah,
Whatever works for you.
whichever one you're most interested in. All right. Well, next week we will come back to the final day of 10,000 Fists and the war with the Heavenly Way. All right. So we'll be back this time next week. I will. If you all think of anything, let me know. I'll poke at those legendary items so we're ready to roll for next time. If you think of anything else you want to do before we get there, send me a message. And if not, that's what we'll be doing next. All right, I'm going to take us offline. Bye, Internet.